Hi, I'm Paul Marini, and one of my pieces is in the auction, and it's entitled A Mouse's Life. So when I decided to do A Mouse's Life, I went back into my early life when I was just a young boy living in Illinois, and we happened to live in a very hilly area that had a lot of small creeks. And I became enamored with snakes. And many people don't like snakes, but I ended up raising snakes as a young boy. And I kept that hobby for a fairly long period of time. I chose the Gaboon viper from Western Africa because the Gaboon viper is the largest viper in the world in terms of weight. Secondly, it has the largest fangs. Thirdly, it delivers the most venom of any viper. And I thought, okay, there we go. There's my snake. So what else lives in the jungles of West Africa? Some of the largest tarantulas, some of the largest scorpions, some of the largest centipedes and millipedes, and then there are also moths and frogs and other creatures that live in the jungle. So if I had a square yard of jungle, what could I put in it? And that is essentially where the inspiration came for A Mouse's Life. Now, I chose the title Mouse's Life a little bit late into the production of the unit. I had already carved the snake, I had carved the tarantula and the centipede, and I was thinking, you know, if there was a log lying on the ground, and if I was a mouse, I could hide in that log and stay away from that Gaboon viper. So I carved a mouse into the log, and I said, that's where this thing is going to go. It's going to be called A Mouse's Life because look at the world that they live in. Any of the creatures that I have in there, the snake or the tarantula or the centipede, could kill that mouse. So the mouse was definitely in a place of great harm and danger. And so I left it at that. I just said, let the audience figure all of what I've just said out. They'll figure it out in no time because they're going to see the look on that mouse's face. He's got those big bug eyes and he's just saying, don't move, don't move. They're all around me. And so there was the inspiration. It took 11 months to carve the project. And it includes everything that you would find on the jungle floor: rotting logs, freshly fallen limbs, leaves that have been there and have rotted, freshly falling leaves, acorns, mushrooms. I had to do all of that in this 3x3 area, and it came out. It worked out okay. I want to give a shout out to Elise Durenberger, the painter who has been my partner for the last 5 years. Elise is a local painter in Cotati and is a really, really capable woman. I'd like to give you just a little bit of background on myself. Born and raised in Illinois, lived in many parts of the United States, and I learned woodworking from my grandfather when I was just 8 years old. He was a master carpenter who came over from Italy and established a small business in my hometown of LaSalle. And at an early age, he taught me everything that I know now. I've added a lot of expertise over the years, but essentially, he started me out. So my profession was a geneticist. I am not a professional woodworker at all. And so the woodworking has stayed with me as part of my life. It's where I go when I want solace. It's where I go when I want some measure in my life where I can do something that I'm in complete control of. Whether it turns out well or whether it turns out incorrectly, it's all up to me. So when I decided to become a wood carver, I was visiting with some friends about 10 years ago, and they were doing some very small caricatures of horsemen on fancy horses. They were doing Christmas ornaments. And what I saw was a way to take me into my later years. I could envision a time when I may not be able to handle power equipment for eyesight issues, perhaps auditory issues. So I was looking for something to take me to where I could go all the way into the furthest reaches of my life and still be able to do something with my hands. And consequently, wood carving appealed to me. However, I wanted to do something a little bit more grandiose, if you will. In my life, I've always tried to do things to the limits of my capability. And when I looked around and saw some of the things that could be done with wood carving, I realized that there was really no limit. So that is the story of how A Mouse's Life was created. And I hope that someone out there has the same afflictions that I do for creatures that are generally shied away from by others. So I thank you for your time and allowing me to talk to you about this project, and let's see where it goes. Thank you.